Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Mike Avery has covered the outdoors in Michigan for more than 4 decades, and that tradition continues today. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Eider Insurance Group, Angler Quest Pontoons, the Forward Corporation, Primal Outdoors, Security Credit Union, Offshore Tackle, Garber Chevrolet, Rapid River Knife Works, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Indeed, this is the big guy, Mike Avery. Thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction. I had to reach out to Ken Hunter here just a couple of weeks ago to do a slightly revised version of the open of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. And he said, you know what, Mike? He said, you have been my most loyal and long-running partner. He said, I've been doing voiceovers for you for more than like 30 years, which just means that both Ken and I, let's just say we're very experienced in the broadcast business, right? We've been around the block a time or two. Anyway, welcome once again to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. In fact, the very last Outdoor Magazine radio show for 2024. Charlie, can you bump those up just a little bit again? I'm sorry. The last show for 2024. You made it through Christmas. New Year is just around the corner. We've got a new year ahead of us. All that means, all the excitement, all the promise, all the challenges, all the good stuff, all the cool stuff is right around the corner. It's up to us now to take advantage of this opportunity and make the most out of it. You know, people talk about New Year resolutions. I never make New Year resolutions. Never. Because resolutions are basically, they're made to be broken. I do, on some years, set out some goals. You know, here's what I want to accomplish. Here's what I will work to accomplish. Here's what I will work very strongly to accomplish in a new year. This year, I go into the new year, I don't have a specific list of goals like I normally do. You know, I've got certain generic categories, like I want to hunt more, I want to fish more. Those are always my goals, right? I do want to take a Michigan turkey. I'm usually quite successful at that. I take a bird every spring. I will not get a Michigan bear tag this year, but I would like to go back to Ontario, go back up to White River, hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. I'd like to take a bear up there. I love bear hunting, you know that. I would like to take another Michigan whitetail this year. Last year, what my goal was to take a doe. I don't know. I don't want to get too specific and say, well, you know, I want to shoot a nice buck this year. It's too early for that. I guess my bigger goal would be to continue to enjoy my renewed interest in deer hunting. Deer season pretty much over now for most people, right? Finally. I know there are some special late extended seasons going on in parts of the state. Doe seasons. I got to be honest, I doubt if I will get out and take advantage of them. And I really wonder how many Michigan hunters will get out and take advantage of those special, super duper, late extended, outstanding doe seasons. I know the wildlife managers would like many hunters to get out and take advantage of it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. What has happened since we've last talked? Well, I know one thing that's happened. Congrats to my alma mater, Ferris State Bulldogs. Go Dogs. They won the Division II National Football Championship once again. They beat Valdosta in a game that was just so cool. They dominated that game. And it was really fun to watch because I'm watching it, and on my phone, texting back and forth, are two of my best friends from college back in a while ago. So we're watching the game and we're communicating in a technology that nobody even thought would exist. 40 years later? How cool was that? Congrats, Ferris State. You guys have turned into just a dominating force in NCAA Division II football. Oh, here's a goal I would like to get back, and I'll tell you this right now, maybe put some public, I want to say public pressure. I don't want to say public pressure, but we'll put it out in the ether, out in the universe. I'd like to get back on WBRN. When I was at Ferris, I used to listen to WBRN, and I was on WBRN AM and FM for several years. Something happened internally where they did a little change in programming, and that often happens. But I wouldn't mind getting back on Ferris, on WBRN again. How cool would that be? What else has happened since we last talked? Oh, okay. This is purely personal, but I've had I mentioned it on a couple of live streams, and people have been asking about it, so I will follow up. Well, you might not know. 2024 was a very interesting year for me personally. Got a new grandson, Bodie, who was a real blessing because he came early. He was small. My daughter Shelby, I got to be honest, had some problems during the pregnancy. So that was a challenge. And then at the end of October, just before Halloween, out of the blue, I had a stroke. Not a minor stroke, not a TIA, but a full-blown stroke. And I made it through. Again, God's grace, your prayers, modern medicine got me through it. So I'm here. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to make too many specific goals for 2025, because I'm just kind of going with the flow, right? I'm just glad to be here. But as part of that whole investigation into why I had a stroke, because it turns out it was not my first stroke. I had had previous strokes and wasn't even aware of it. This one, believe me, I was aware of it. They found, through extensive testing, a hole in my heart. Now, some of you would say, Avery, you've had a hole in your heart ever since I've known you. Yes, you got a great big hole in your I get it, okay? Every person who is ever born has this hole in their heart when you are in uterus. And when you're born, 75% of the people, it heals up. A quarter of the people, it never heals. And in most of those people, if not, maybe a lot of those people, it never causes any problems. Well, for me, it turns out that hole is very likely the reason why I had a stroke. The doc says, I'll give you 70%. He said, I'm 70% convinced that's why you had a stroke. If you don't get this fixed, you will have another stroke, likely to. And at this point, you're playing Russian roulette. And I'm like, well, geez, doc, that's very uplifting. Thanks for that. He says, but I can change this situation. I can go into your heart and I can fix this hole. I can plug this hole. And they use a patch. It's like 1.5 inches across. It's surprisingly big. And they go in there and they plug this hole in your heart, much like the old-fashioned tire plugs. So anyway, since we've last talked, I had that done. That was kind of an interesting situation to be wide awake when a doc's in your heart looking around there. But everything went well. He fixed it. I am ready to rock. I have never been so thoroughly examined physically in my entire life. So physically, I'm good to go now. Mentally, I'm probably the strongest I've ever been in my life. And I am so excited about this year coming up. Pure Michigan Hunt. There's still time to get involved in that. One of the reasons I want to be around here for a long time is I'm going to win the Pure Michigan Hunt. Might not be this year, might be next year, but I'm going to win the Pure Michigan Hunt. You have until the end of the year to sign up for that. You also have till the end of the year to sign up for the truck trolley promotion. Avery 10 at trucktrolley.com. Get 10% off this very cool removable slide-out bed in your truck that allows you to reach everything in the back of your truck. Trucktrolley.com, promo code Avery 10. MUCC till the end of the year, or maybe a couple days beyond, is having a promotion where you could go to the Super Bowl, which could be interesting this year. Go to mucc.org/Super Bowl. They have tickets to get involved in the raffle. The winner will get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, 2 vouchers for airfare down there, and a hotel room while you're there. How cool is that? A couple of dates I'd like you to put on your calendar for 2025. I can't believe I'm saying 2025. Saturday, March 1st, the big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. Tickets will be going on sale for that. I don't know. I'll let you know, but just put it on your calendar, right? Another date to put on your calendar, Friday, July 25th. That is the date for the 2nd annual Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing in West Branch at the West Branch Country Club to benefit MUCC's youth camp. Coming up on this week's show, after the break, Captain Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters talks about fishing, even open water fishing on the east side of the state. Then Ben Nielsen of Showspan. Can you believe it? The show season is here. In hour number 2, we're talking with Jordan Farmer about hunting with dogs. Then Amy Trotter of MUCC. She's got a list of things she's happy about in 2024 and looking forward to 25. Eric Hilliard with details on the Pure Michigan hunt. And in hour number 3, Tom Lounsbury, the guy who can tell the best stories of anybody I've ever had on here. And, of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Minar. Coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Flint on Sports Extra 1330 WTRX. You can hear us in Alpena on WZTK 105.7 FM. And you can hear us north of the bridge in Iron Mountain, WMIQ 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Premier Maritime Training. If you've ever wanted to get your captain's license, I am absolutely convinced this is a wonderful option for you. Captain John Littlefield, he taught my captain's class, and if he can help me become a licensed charter captain, believe me, he can help you get your license as well. In fact, my license is up for renewal this summer, and I will go back to John to walk me through the process of how to re-up that thing. He's just a good guy, very knowledgeable, great teacher. Check out the website, pmtcaptains.com, for more info. That's pmtcaptains.com. John has classes across the state. I'm sure you can find one that'll fit your schedule. A lot of reasons to become a licensed captain, not just a fishing captain, but, towboats, sightseeing, sailing. What a cool way to make a living or make a few extra bucks or just enjoy your spare time and do it legally. If you're going to take people on the water, you have to, for hire, you have to be licensed. PMTCaptains.com is the website, PMTCaptains.com. Right now, I want to turn my attention to a licensed charter captain here in the great state of Michigan, Captain Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters. Pete, welcome back to the show. How have you been, buddy?
Good, Mike. Good, man. How have you been?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm here. I'm upright. I'm excited for the new year and ready to rock.
That's it, man. I can't believe Christmas is right around the corner, and then the new year, and it's flying.
Well, actually, by the time people hear the show, Christmas is past us, and New Year is looking at us right in the face. So, yeah, time does fly. What's happening on out your neck of the woods, Pete?
There's not too much. Ice fishermen are hoping that the temps keep dropping and the canals lock up. But right now, we're doing some open water trolling. We're trolling Lake St. Clair. Guys are still jigging up in Lake Huron just above the Blue Water Bridge. So, guys are still in boats.
Where you are there on the river, the St. Clair River, you are in one of the most interesting spots on one of the most interesting fisheries in our state because everything that swims in our state swims past your shop there.
That's it, man. I tell people all the time how blessed we are. I think St. Clair River is not only one of the most underrated fisheries in the state, but really in the country. Right now, we're going to start seeing salmon start to come through, cohos, Atlantic, steelhead. They'll hang around for a while. The walleye fishing's still decent. Obviously, we're catching them. We're jigging, tipping with minnows, or trolling down in Lake St. Clair. But we have opportunity to do a little bit of everything.
Tell me about your shop, where you're at. I mean, it's been, what, 3 years since you opened the door now?
Yes, so we opened in 2021, so 21, 22, 23. Yes, we're just closing 4 years here, and it's been phenomenal. So we are right on the water in Marine City, Michigan. So I'm dead mid-river. I'm 25 miles up to Port Huron, 15 miles down to Lake St. Clair. And we carry anything you need for the river and Lake St. Clair, man. Walleye fishing, bass fishing, salmon fishing, muskie fishing. We talk about all the fish that swim through. Well, we try and cover them all.
You fill such a void. It's hard for me to believe that there wasn't somebody there already. It's like you had a great idea. You've got a great spot. You're a young guy with a lot of energy and a great work ethic, and it just seems like the perfect fit.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's kind of where it all started, because I started guiding in 2017, and I didn't have access to really anything. There was a small store in St. Clair, 2 up in Port Huron, and then none around here. So, Mike, we talk about how good the fishery is. It's 40.5 miles, and there's 3 bait stores on it. 2 of them are at the very northern tip. So I never pictured myself running a bait store. I never pictured myself owning a bait store, but I mean, we needed it. The fishermen needed it. The fishermen deserved it, and it's been a blessing. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, being in business for yourself was not new, though, right? Because your family was in the restaurant business, if I remember right, for years.
Correct. We did the restaurant business. We've had the restaurant was in our family for 41 years.
Wow.
And after COVID, there was a lot of challenges you had to work through. My parents were ready to retire, and so when they retired, since I grew up in that, it wasn't so much like time to find a job. It was time to make a job for myself. So what could I do? And that's kind of where the entrepreneurship went in. I had some really good friends and some really good people in my corner that helped guide me towards this bait shop route and getting tackle in here. And it's just been taking off, man. It's been getting better and better every year. And this is the most full the store's ever been. So I cannot wait for next spring.
I've got to believe the process of starting a tackle shop from scratch and just filling it up with inventory. I mean, that's quite a process right there. You got to figure out what you're going to put in there. You got to make the connections with that company and with those people and those reps. I mean, it's a big job.
Yeah, the relationships are the biggest thing. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for the people we worked with, 100%. And we focus on, to be honest with you, Mike, we avoid a lot of that big-time distribution and working with a lot of those bigger companies. I mean, we carry Shimano, Fenwick, St. Croix, all the biggest names in the industry for sure. But we try to work with a lot of local companies, a lot of Michigan companies, guys that I can reach out to direct. I can shake their hands at the fishing show. I know who I'm dealing with. They knew who they're dealing with, and it's been really special, honestly.
Pete, I got to tell you, you're talking about a business model. I don't want to get too far inside baseball, but you're talking about a business model that I have embraced for many, many years. Yeah, there's the big corporate conglomerates in the fishing world, the hunting world, but their ad agencies come and go, their reps come and go, their people come and go. Like you, I want to work with a family-owned, preferably Michigan-based company where I can sit across the table from the person, make the deal, shake their hand, and we're good to go. I love that.
That's it. I mean, that's really the basis of the business. And when I have access to talk to these guys, see, we're in such a unique fishery. I mean, you look around, and what the Detroit River and St. Clair River offers is so different from around the country. You can't really go find a 5'6" medium heavy rod or 1 ounce round ball jigs or a bunch of 4-inch split tail plastics. Like, it's such a unique thing that we do. And these bigger companies don't want to take their time. They're very focused on bass fishing and just kind of multi-species fishing. So we do a lot of walleye fishing, especially vertical jigging and bottom bouncing. So we need to focus with those companies that put emphasis into it and want to continue to grow that side of the business. And, you know, again, it's mostly just being able to provide our customers items that they don't have or they haven't had access to.
How far, I mean, when you fish, when you make your charter trips, do you fish right there out of the shop or do you trailer to the different launches?
90% of the year we're right here out of the store. It's only, like I said, it's only about 15 miles down to Lake St. Clair where we do a lot of our fishing in the summer once those fish kind of leave the river. And honestly, Mike, most of my trips, I'm probably within 7 miles of the store walleye fishing. So it's very nice.
Well, everything is there. Every kind of fish you'd want to fish is there.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't complain. When the salmon fishing's here, they're right here in the middle of the river. When the walleye fishing's here, they're right here in the middle of the river. I mean, where we're at, I got a power plant about 7 miles north of me, and I got Russell Island that's about 7 miles south. And I really don't leave that stretch of river. So we cover about, 14 miles?
We've talked about the Atlantics out there in the river before. I am fascinated by Atlantics. What time of year is that? Remind me, Pete.
They're going to start now. They've been slowly trickling in the river this fall. I remember last year after the fishing show, my coworker and I, we snuck out and we did really well in the middle of January. We went, 6 for 8 in an hour and a half. So they're going to start trickling now. The prime salmon run is going to start end of March, beginning of April. And we're praying for a cold winter because we need Lake Huron to get those cold temps, push ice through, and then those salmon are right behind it.
Stupid question. Does the river freeze?
Not a stupid question, but no, it doesn't. We have so many factories and stuff up and down the river that it keeps it, typically that river stays at like that 33, 34 degrees, and it's always moving about 2 miles an hour. What does happen is Lake St. Clair freezes. We get a bunch of shove ice from Lake Huron, and then it'll back up our river, and then that'll freeze. But in no instance ever would I recommend trying to ever fish it, because with the current and everything like that, it is not worth your life.
Fish it as far as ice fishing or getting out there in the boat?
Ice fishing,
okay.
correct.
But what about getting out there in the boat?
Boat fish it any day.
Well, even when the ice comes down through?
Yeah, so typically when the ice comes down because of the currents, if you get the right wind, like a lot of the times we have a lot of west wind, right? So if we have a lot of west wind, a lot of times that ice is shoved up on the Canadian side. And we're free and we're open. Now, if to the guys that are listening that are thinking about coming to fish the river, utilize your resources. So you can utilize river cameras in Port Huron, St. Clair, Marine City, and Elginak. You just Google Port Huron River Cam. You can see what's coming down from Lake Huron. You can see, if you're fishing, you can see what's coming down. And then another tip is always run north. So wherever you launch, always run north, because then if ice starts coming down, you'll always be able to get back to the launch.
That little tidbit of information right there was worth the entire conversation, Pete.
I've been iced in one time, Mike, where I made the wrong decision and we ran south and we saw ice flows come in and we couldn't get back to the ramp. And then it was like, get somebody to launch, get the truck down to the next launch, run the boat down before the ice comes down. I don't suggest that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun. But basically, you've got a fishery out there, a river out there that is open to boat traffic, open to open water fishing year-round.
12 months a year, man. 12 months a year. We have fished with the horrendous ice fishing that we've been provided the last, 3 years. We've fished just about 36 months straight.
Wow. We're talking with Captain Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters, hookonecharters.com, hookonecharters.com. Pete also has a very interesting podcast that he does as well. I would encourage you to check that out. Pete is one of those guys that I love to talk with. He's one of the young guys I talk about, right? He is the future of fishing education, of chartering, of media. There are a couple of guys I think about in this category. Kyle Green of Greenway Outdoors is one of them. Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters another. These guys are young guys who have they got the energy, they got the desire, they got the drive, they have the knowledge, and they're willing to share it with us, which is what I appreciate. Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters, hookonecharters.com. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine Show. When we come back, we'll wrap up our conversation with Pete, and then we'll turn to Ben Nielsen of Showspan, because believe it or not, the show season is here. It's going to be a good one. We'll talk with Ben about that right here on Outdoor Magazine. can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Battle Creek on WBCK 95.3 FM. You can hear us in Carroll on two stations, WKYO 1360 AM and WIDL 92.1 FM. And you can hear us in the Sioux on WKNW 1400 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by the Linwood Beach Marina and Campground. Linwood Beach can be your year-round Saginaw Bay fishing destination, whether it's open water or ice. And, this time of year, who really knows? Although I haven't checked in with my friends at Linwood Beach in the last couple of days, but I have seen some pictures of people. It looks like there's some pretty good shore ice. So I don't know if you can get out of Linwood Beach in your boat right now or not. Probably not. I will tell you this, when the conditions even remotely allow, Linwood Beach will be open and you can get out. But in the meantime, if you are into ice fishing, Linwood Beach, a great jumping off point as well. Whether it's ice fishing or open water, check with the folks there first to find out what the latest conditions are. It is linwoodbeachmarina.com, linwoodbeachmarina.com. Great people, great facilities, great fishing. I can't say enough about Linwood Beach Marina, linwoodbeachmarina.com. Now, jumping over to the other side of the state, on the St. Clair River, Captain Pete Patsalis. Pete, you've got a lot going on. I mentioned your podcast earlier. Tell me a little bit about that. Why that form of communication, and what are you guys trying to do with that thing?
The podcast is really cool, and I got to start this with a thank you to you and guys like you, Mike. You guys have really paved the way for guys like us to do this and show that it's possible. So the podcast has just been for us not only a way to show kind of what we offer, but also help cut that learning curve. Like when you come over to the St. Clair River, the Detroit River, and you're doing something different, instead of having to sit in the bait shop for an hour, we can answer a couple questions and then kind of put you on information that will hopefully answer a lot of your questions. But now it's given us access to talk to so many cool people, tons of guides, industry professionals. We just recorded one. It's going to be coming out right before the new year with the winners of the Fall Brawl and the Walleye Slam. They won $300,000 of boats with one fish.
Wow.
So it allows us to talk to so many people.
I didn't hear the results of that. I'm just curious, how big was the big fish down there this year?
31 1/4 inch, 12.3 pounds, caught just east of Huron.
$300,000.
Yeah, it was $174,000 Warrior 238 was the prize for the Slam, and then $145,000 Ranger 622 for the Fall Brawl.
Wow!
For $70 of entry fees.
That fishery down on Lake Erie is world class and it is phenomenal. But I don't know, Pete. I feel like there are times when the fishing out your back doors can rival Lake Erie.
Oh, I would agree. I would absolutely agree, especially with the migrations and the runs that these fish go on. We don't quite see the size that like Detroit River and Lake Erie see, but as far as numbers go, this place is no slouch, and we have no shortage of 4 to 6, 7 pound fish. A big thing is right now it's underrated, man. Like I'll pull up to a drift, and if there's 15 boats, I wouldn't even think about drifting that here. In Detroit, it feels like you have the place all to yourself.
Yeah. Do you get grief from the locals for promoting this fishery so hard?
Not the right ones. It's one of those things. I mean, again, I think business, right? So it's not just my bait shop that I'm worried about, but what about all the Airbnbs? What about all the gas stations, the restaurants, the party stores? They all love that business and they love that push. And at the end of the day, we're never going to see as many people as, say, a Lake Erie or Detroit. It's too easy to get to those places where we're a little bit out of the way.
Yeah.
But I think the locals appreciate it because we learn more about our river. I always make a joke. It feels like we're stuck in a time capsule here. I mean, hand lining is still one of the major ways of fishing. You just don't see a lot of the nuances that you see in a lot of other fisheries. So I think our customers and our locals enjoy being able to enjoy, with other people coming in, fishing the river new ways. We're learning new things. The more people that fish it, the more you learn.
You talk about, a whole bunch of 4-pound fish. In Michigan, we are spoiled because a 4-pound fish it's a nice fish. You go a lot of places in the country, Pete, and you know this. That might be the biggest fish they catch in the whole year.
You're 100% right. I mean, we've had guys come in from, you name it, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, even places like Minnesota, certain spots in Wisconsin. Like, obviously Green Bay's an outlier, but you get guys from over there that come over here and they're like, I tell them this isn't the great size of fish. Well, we have a live well full of 2 to 6 pounders, and they're like, "What do you mean?" It's like, all right, I guess we are spoiled.
Yeah, you made their day with those fish, didn't you?
You ain't kidding, man. Yeah, it's a special thing we got going on here.
Well, I know you do, Pete, and that's why I like talking with you, to let people know about that. Pete Patsalis of Hook One Charters, hookonecharters.com. Check out the podcast. And are you still booking clients? Will you take somebody out in the heart of wintertime?
No. Every now and then we'll run like a last-minute trip, but it's just too hard to schedule out. I mean, they don't even know what the weather's going to be like in a few hours, yet alone a few weeks.
Gotcha.
So we'll take a few. Another big thing is insurance. I don't really want to be – you got to have a certain customer that wants to be in a boat in December.
Yeah, a certain kind of crazy customer. Pete, yeah. Listen, I got to let you go. I'm out of time. Unlike a podcast that can go on forever, a radio show has finite end points. And Charlie Rood, who's in here with the studio right now, and this guy's a taskmaster. He said, Avery, you got 11 seconds to get out of here, and then I'm pulling the plug. So I got to go, and we'll come back after the break with Ben Nielsen of Showspan. I did it. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Sheboygan on Big Country Gold, WCBY, 1240 AM, 100.7 FM. You can hear us in Holland on WHTC, that's 1450 AM, 99.7 FM. And you can hear us, let's go north of the bridge to Newberry, WNBY, 1450 AM. Those are just some of the 33 Outdoor Magazine radio affiliates. This segment of the show brought to you by Killer Food Plots, family-owned, Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. I know you're not putting in food plots right now, though. You probably spent a lot of time this fall and early winter hunting over those food plots. And when it comes around to putting them in this spring, it's like, you know what? You want to maximize your time, efforts, money. Michigan-based, family-owned Killer Food Plots can do that for you. Keep them in mind. Throughout this wintertime season as you're getting ready. The website, killerfoodplots.com. That's killerfoodplots.com. Speaking of kind of a change in seasons, can you believe that it's time now for the big show seasons? Showspan here in Michigan puts on some of the best shows out there. Ben Nielsen is with Showspan with us now to talk more about that. Ben, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. How did it get to be show season already?
I know. It comes up so fast. And, obviously we work all year towards this, and it's been a fantastic year as far as getting ready for that. We're looking forward to a great show.
Tell me about your list of shows here in Michigan that we would be interested in this year, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit is our first one. That comes up January 9 to 12. Following that is Outdoorama. That's February 20 to 23. And then the sports show in Grand Rapids is March 13 to 16.
I love each and every one of those shows. That's not all you guys do, though. You do other shows that aren't really as maybe interesting to this audience, but you guys are busy every weekend, I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Everything we do is kind of that first quarter of the year, so we kind of call ourselves carnies this time of year, but, we go from one show to the next, right? All over the state of Michigan and even into Wisconsin.
Well, the big Ultimate Fishing Show, I believe, is at the what's the name of the place these days? Now, help me out,
Yeah,
Ben.
Suburban Collection Show.
Yes, thank you. And that is 9th, starts the 9th?
Yes, 9 to 12.
Who are we going to see there this year, Ben?
Well, I say, as far as seminar guys go, hard to beat Kevin Van Dam. He'll be back there again this year. Mark Zona is another really great name that'll be there. On the bass side, Joe Thomas, Jim Vitero, Wayne Carpenter. New this year, Scott Dobson. And then when we go walleye, Mark Romanek, Mark Martin, Brian Brosedale's going to be there this year, Jake Romanek. So as you can see, we're going to have quite a few.
Man, I guess so. And seminars are such a big part of this. You need the best people out there, and you've been very successful at grabbing them year after year. But seminars are only part of this experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So great way to come, learn about fishing, go to some of the seminars. But then you also want to look for all the gear that goes with it, right? All the fishing lures and the tackle. Frank's Great Outdoors will be there again with a really large fishing selection. They're going to have their Shanty truckload sale again this year. So, tons to do as far as tackle goes. And then if you're looking for that new fishing boat, we're going to have a lot of those there as well. So, all different kinds of fishing boats to look at.
And at these shows, I have found over the years, if you are looking for a boat, which is a big expense these days, you can get a pretty good price with some pretty good financing at these shows usually.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, this year especially, these dealers want to sell boats. So there's going to be a lot of deals out there, a lot of manufacturer rebates, and then deals on top of that from the individual dealers. So if you are in that market, interest rates are getting a little bit better, and there'll be plenty to choose from, and it certainly is a buyer's market.
So the first show is the Ultimate Fishing Show, followed up by Outdoorama. And I will say that when you folks took over Outdoorama, it was a great move for MUCC. It was a great move for you at Showspan, and it was a wonderful move for us as people who like to go to the show because I think it has really changed the show, Ben.
Well, thank you. It's certainly something that we do, and so we wanted to add our touch to it. But continuing to work with MUCC, and they're still a strong vendor at the show, and we love working with them.
And, of course, the big show, the Ultimate Show, a show that wraps up the season that I used to go to when I was a kid many, many years ago, downtown Grand Rapids. This must be one of the longest running shows out there.
80th year, Mike.
80th year. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is. And very fortunate to have that, and can't wait to do the 80th anniversary this year.
Where do we learn more about all these? If I put out the website showspan.com, does that get people to the different locations?
It absolutely will. We have individual Ultimate Fishing Show, Outdoorama, and UltimateSportShow.com, but showspan.com takes you to the same place.
Perfect, Ben. Have a great season. You and I will talk again as things progress, but good luck to you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Ben Nielsen of Showspan. I'm going to put out the one website, showspan.com, showspan.com. From there, you can get to all the different shows these guys put out there, and it's a pretty impressive list. We'll take a break for the top of the hour. When we come back in hour number 2, we're going to talk with Jordan Farmer about running dogs for all kinds of different things, including bobcats, which I think is pretty cool. That and lots more coming up in hour 2 of this week's Outdoor Magazine.
Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Mike Avery has covered the outdoors in Michigan for more than 4 decades, and that tradition continues today. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Eider Insurance Group, Angler Quest Pontoons, the Forward Corporation, Primal Outdoors, Security Credit Union, Offshore Tackle, Garber Chevrolet, Rapid River Knife Works, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to hour number 2 of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, the last radio show in 2024. The next time we talk, it'll be a new year. I'm blessed and honored and proud and lucky, and you can. How many words can I use to describe the fact that I'm here in this studio at this microphone every week for 3 hours talking about the great outdoors, the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan. It is a lifestyle that across the northern part of the state is still as strong probably as it ever was. Some other parts of our state, maybe not so much. And not because the people who are in the southern part of the state who participate are not as passionate as ever, but it's that the people who are, many of them, in the southern part of the state just didn't grow up the way that maybe you or I did, hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping. So for the first time in my life, I can see a scenario where the future of our outdoor lifestyle is not guaranteed. Because it doesn't matter how passionate the people are in the northern part of the state, that's not where the population is. The population is in the southern part of the state. And if you get those people stirred up by anti-hunters or PETA or something like that coming in with false lies, with lies and falsehoods, and an awful lot of money to start some kind of an ad campaign, it can change. And they won't come at us directly. They won't come in and say, we're going to try to eliminate deer hunting head on like that. They won't do that. They'll take something that's on the outside, something that's on the periphery. How about, here's an example. How about a dove hunt? We had a dove hunt here in Michigan, but very few hunters participated. So the antis came in and said, okay, well, look it. We're going to see if we can't take this away. And the hunters, the rest of the hunters in the state, didn't support it. They said, well, look it, I don't dove hunt. I'm a deer hunter or whatever. I don't care. Go ahead and take this and just leave us alone. And we didn't back up our fellow hunters. These days, my prediction is the next direct attack will be on something like predator hunting, coyote hunting, hunting with hounds, dogs, because the number of people who do that is not as large as some other activities. And to be honest, hunting with hounds in some areas is not looked on that favorably, which, I got to be honest, I think is a shame. I've never done it, but I vehemently support the rights of those who do, including Jordan Farmer, who is one of the best-known houndsmen in our state and with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Jordan, welcome back. Always a pleasure, buddy. How are you?
Hey, Mike. Good. How are you? I'm doing
really good. I'm doing great. I'm excited about this new year. Tell me what's going on in your world right now, Jordan.
Oh, not much. Just recouping from bear season and trying to ready and get ready for cat season here. So.
And didn't you run a few or help out with some elk hunts too?
I did. Yeah, my wife she had a cow tag, and then I helped a couple of my buddies out down there. Selling a couple tags with them and chasing elk around, and it was a lot of fun.
So you've had a pretty busy season.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Going back to bear season, how was that for you?
Good. It was a good year. We had a real good year. A lot of bear around, a lot of pretty good bear, and all the dogs pretty much stayed safe, and we had a real good year. A lot of happy hunters. So.
Did you hunt those bears exclusively in the northern lower, or did you venture into the Yup?
No, I just all the UP. I don't bear hunt in the lower at all.
Okay. Did you? And you say your dog stayed safe, meaning there were no wolf encounters this time.
Yep. Yeah. Luckily, no wolf encounter. Well, we had some encounters, but nothing. Nothing got hurt. Yeah. So that's a good year for us.
Oh, yeah. And elk season, of course, you can't run dogs for elk, but did your wife get her cow?
She did, yes, she did. Yep.
That's a pretty cool experience, isn't it, out there on an elk hunt like that?
Oh, it was awesome. I've never done it, and like I say, a couple of my buddies are guides down there, and they invited me, let me come along, or let us come along, and that was awesome. I'm hooked. I'm going to go back next year and help them out, and it's a ton of fun.
And the first time you see one of those critters out there, it's like, man, they're especially a bull, big, beautiful, amazing, impressive animals.
They are, yeah. I didn't realize how big they were, until you get face to face with them, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And you said now you're getting ready for cat season. No coyotes anymore, Jordan?
Nope, no coyotes. Just bear and cat for us now. So.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, it's a lot easier just to have your dogs running, strictly either bobcats or coyotes. Some guys do both, and they do well at it, but we try to concentrate just on the bobcat in the wintertime, and if you're running both, sometimes you have those days where you're trying to start a bobcat and they get on a coyote or whatever, so we try to concentrate just on the cats, I guess.
So I think I see what you're saying, but help me out. So is it confusing to the dogs if you're running both? It's like, hey, what are we hunting today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be. If you're trailing a bobcat and you also run coyotes and they run across the coyote, that maybe is fresher or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll take the coyote, and then you got to try to catch them and get them back on the cat, and it eliminates that. If you just concentrate on one animal in the winter, and so that's kind of what we do.
Are you running the same dogs for bobcats in the winter that you do for bears in the fall?
Yep. Yeah, mostly. Not all of them. I mean, not all of them make cat dogs, but yeah, there's a good handful of them that all run cats and bears. So.
And where do you run the bobcats, Jordan?
All through the UP, wherever we got to go. Pretty much, we do a lot of traveling. So. And
again, not down into the northern lower. Then you're pretty much strictly a UP guy.
Yeah, pretty much. We do come down a little bit for bobcat season, but not a whole lot. It just all depends on the snow too, where the snow is, and all that. Why
do you want snow or you don't want snow?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, well, it just helps out if you got fresh snow, and it definitely helps you out if you got a good amount of snow. So
now that I'm reminded you're hunting just about entirely in the UP, have you guys ever come across a lynx?
No lynx yet.
Okay. Because I've seen a couple of those up in Canada, and they look just like a cat, only they're a lot taller with different ears. It'd be kind of a cool thing to come across.
Yes, yeah, I think it would be. I'm sure there's probably one poking around up here somewhere.
I'm sure there is. And you know what? If there is, you and your guys are probably going to find it.
Yeah, maybe someday.
You've been doing this all your life, Jordan?
Yeah, ever since I was in diapers.
And you're probably not exaggerating.
No, not at all, actually.
So what is the appeal of running dogs? Why do you like it so much?
I guess it's just taking a puppy and training it to, you're taking another animal and teaching it to trail another animal. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fascinating, and the places you get to see following a pack of dogs is just, you get to see just a ton of country. You get to go all over, and I love that part of it. You're not sitting, you don't have to sit still like deer hunting, I don't know. It's a lot of fun, and I just really enjoy it, I guess.
It certainly is
in my blood, I guess.
And it certainly is a social activity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a group effort. And I guess that's another thing is, you get a good group of guys together, and it's a lot of fun to hunt with all your buddies, and, a lot of laughs, and, poking and prodding at each other, and it's a good time.
Do you guys, Jordan, I got to take a break here, but before we do, and we'll come back to you again, do you have a guide service online, or how does this work? Do you want to send people to a guide service or a Facebook page or something, or is that not a concern for you?
We do have a Facebook page. It's just the Farmer Brothers. We don't really keep it updated. We kind of got away from that, so it's just our personal pages, Jordan Farmer, Justin Farmer. But we don't really even post that much anymore. Just I'm not huge on social media, so it's kind of word of mouth. So.
I hear you there. Anti-social media, it gets to be some days. Jordan, hang tight. We're talking with Jordan Farmer of the very well-known Farmer Brothers. Jordan and his brother Justin, two of the best known houndsmen in the state. We got to take a break here, though, in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, I want to talk to Jordan about the nuances of running bobcats, with dogs, and how is that different from bear hunting, and maybe a few more things as well. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Houghton Lake on the Twister, 92.1 WTWS. You can hear us in Port Huron, WPHM 1380 AM. And let's go north of the bridge. Let's go to Marquette, WDMJ 1320 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine. Speaking of north of the bridge, this segment of the show is brought to you by the company that makes this sound. I don't even have to tell you what that is anymore, do I? You know that's the sound of my Rapid River knife locking back in position. I just pulled it out of my pocket. It's there all the time. I think a knife is one of the most valuable tools an outdoor person can have. And if you're going to carry a knife, why not carry a handmade knife made by craftsmen in Michigan's Upper Peninsula? That describes a Rapid River knife. Handmade by craftsmen, lifetime guarantee. If you go to the website, rapidriverknifeworks.com, use the promo code Avery10, you can get 10% off on your entire order. Or, better yet, go to the store, the showroom, on US 2, just east of Rapid, rapidriverknifeworks.com, or go to the store. Either way, use the promo code Avery10 and get 10% off. Right now, again, continuing on our UP theme, I'm talking with Jordan Farmer, who is a very well-known houndsman in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Jordan, before we get too far, I just want to make sure you're not getting an echo on your end, are you?
No.
Okay,
sounds good.
Very good. All right, good deal. Let's talk about your dogs for a minute. What type of hounds are you running?
We mostly have blue ticks and a couple of plot hounds, too.
Now, those are the bigger, longer-legged dogs, right?
Yeah, yep, yeah, they're I'd say medium-built dogs, you know.
Why those dogs, or is that just what you've always grown up with?
Yeah, just kind of what we've always grown up with, and I don't know. I think every guy kind of finds their own breed that hunts, you know, how they like, and they just kind of stick with those dogs, and that's what we found, and that's what's worked for us. So we just have stuck with them.
And how do you look at these dogs? Are they hunting partners? Are they pets? Are they members of the family? Do they come in the house? What's the relationship there?
Oh yeah, I mean they're pets, they're family members, they're tools, they're everything to us. Obviously. They all stay outside. I mean, you have 10 hound dogs in your house.
That would get interesting.
The wife wouldn't be too happy with that. But, yeah, so they all stay outside. They got nice kennels and everything, and, I mean, they're treated just like everybody else's dog, We love them. I mean, like I say, they're our tools and they're our pets, and my kids are out playing with them every day, and just like anybody's dog, really.
So when you head out on a hunt, how many dogs do you take with you?
It all depends. Bear season, like I say, you usually have 6 or 8 with you. Cat hunting, you could take 3 or 4 is usually what I bring with me. Not that they all get run, but carry them with me in the truck, in case you need a fresh dog or whatever.
So how do you hunt these cats? Is it a matter of driving 2 tracks until you find a track in the snow?
Yup, yeah. So I just, wake up early in the morning and start checking roads. I'm trying to find a fresh track or a good track, whatever, and then, let a dog or two go, and then they call it cold trailing. They'll cold trail until they catch up with the cat, and then we call it jump. The animal will be jumped and running, and then it chases on from there. Either they run all day, or sometimes they tree, sometimes they bay up. It all depends on the animal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, how long geographically this process is, but it varies from cat to cat?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. You never know. I mean, some days it's quick, and some days it never ends, and you pick your dog up and you're no better than you were when you started in the morning,
Except more tired.
You just never know.
Now, you used the term bay up. What does that mean?
It's like when instead of treeing, sometimes they'll stay on the ground and butt up to a tree or whatever, or a blow down, or get up against a stump, and the dogs will kind of surround it and bay the animal up. So.
Is that a bigger, older male cat that tends to do that more, or not necessarily?
No, not necessarily. Like I say, it's whatever that animal wants to do. I mean, you're at the mercy of them. They're going to do whatever they want to do. Just you never know.
What type of countryside or territory do you find bobcats in? Is it closer to bear country than it is, say, coyote country?
Just a good thick swamp, cedar swamp, or pretty much wherever the deer are. I mean, that's what they're feeding on mainly. So if you have deer around, you're usually going to find a cat. But mostly a good thick swamp.
See, I was thinking bobcats were more of a small game predator, but you say deer too.
Oh yeah. I mean, they do. They definitely they kill partridge and rabbits and everything. But they kill deer too.
A bobcat though is more of a trophy. I think you can only get one cat a year per hunter. Is that true?
What? Yeah. They changed it. They recently changed it. You could kill one in the lower and one in the UP, or 2 in the UP, but now one's got to be on private land, and one can be on private, and one can be on, state or federal or whatever. So.
And what is the population? I mean, do we have a bunch of bobcats across the UP?
In pockets. I mean, there's not an overabundance of them, but I mean, there's definitely pockets of them. You just got to find them and know where to go.
So as a predator, what is their relationship to the other predators? If you got a pack of wolves in the area, will you not have bobcats because they'll drive them out, or how does that all work?
What I've been noticing lately, the last couple of years, is I think the wolves are actually following the cats around. Whether it's the wolves taking over the cat's kill, I don't know for sure, but seems like every time we find a cat track, here's 6 or 8 or 10 wolves right next to it. I don't know that for sure. That's why they're doing it, but that's just kind of what we've been finding. But they seem to all live kind of together.
Well, and
one or the other.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit, because I get it. You're not a trained biologist, but Jordan Farmer, you are out there every week, several days a week, all winter long. So you see what's going out there. You have a very good first-hand knowledge of how Mother Nature interacts with itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 It's just the biggest thing is the wolves. I mean, that's our number one. It's the hardest thing to deal with up here right now. It makes it really hard. to do anything really. I mean, any kind of hunting anymore.
Well, I know from past conversations with you that if there are wolves known to be in an area, you'll avoid that area, right?
Oh yeah. I've got a lot of spots that, I mean, they're great spots to hunt, but I can't even go there anymore because they're so overrun with wolves. I mean, there's wolves everywhere, so you have to completely avoid those spots.
I bet the problem is, though, when you got an area that you want to hunt and you don't know about a pack of wolves and you stumble into them, that's an unpleasant surprise.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, we really try to follow them and see where they're going almost every day or whatever, trying to keep up with them and know where the wolves are. So that really helps.
When does cat season start?
January 1st.
January 1st. So you're ready to rock.
Yep. Yeah, we're ready to go.
And then how many different animals will you guys hunt in a season?
As far as cats?
Yeah, cats.
Oh, it all depends. I mean, last year was horrible, but just because of the weather conditions, we didn't have a lot of snow. So as long as the snow's good, I mean, we'll be able to hunt a lot and, hopefully do fairly well. So. And
so is it you guys who end up with the cat tags, or do you have hunters who come in who go with you who have a tag? How does that all work out?
It just all depends. Yeah, we'll have hunters with us or friends or, sometimes we'll take a cat if it's big enough or whatever. But, I mean, mainly it's just about the dogs. We like to run the dogs and you got somebody there that has never killed a cat and they get to kill a nice tom, then, that's just icing on the cake right there. So, but mostly just running our dogs is what we're really about.
Thank you for bringing that up. And I had forgot to mention that. Just because you're hunting these animals doesn't mean you're killing them. You let far more go than you ever harvest.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, that's with bear, too. I think that's another thing about hound hunting that's great. I mean, I think it's the best method of hunting to really control your animals, as far as what you're killing. A lot of times you can sex an animal. You can tell if it's a boar or sow or if it's a tom or if it's a female. So, and you really don't want to be killing too many females of anything, so it's, you can pass those up or, a smaller one up and go after a bigger one. So that's another thing. I think it's a great method of controlling our population of anything, bears, cats, coyotes.
And hunting with hounds is truly like the only true method of catch and release hunting. So I think it's pretty cool. And Jordan, I think it's cool what you guys do, what you've done forever. And I would encourage people to follow you guys online on Facebook, Jordan Farmer, Justin Farmer, the Farmer Brothers. Have a great season. And listen, if you think of it, when you get that first cat that you do harvest, send me a picture to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And if you don't mind, I'll post it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
All right, Jordan, have a great season. That's Jordan Farmer, very well-known dog hunter here in Michigan. I don't mean he's hunting dogs. He's hunting with dogs. And I think the houndsmen, we got to have their back because when the antis come at us again, it's going to be the predator hunters and the houndsmen who they come after. So we got to have their back. We'll take a break. When we come back, Amy Trotter of MUCC, then this week's Ask Avery segment. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Traverse City on WTCM. That's 580 AM. You can hear us in Muskegon on WKBZ 1090 AM. And you can hear us north of the bridge. Let's go to Escanaba, WCHT 600 AM, 93.5 FM. Well, we've been talking on this week's show about, the end of 2024, the new year coming up, 2025, a time for introspection, a time to look forward, a time to make goals, a time to assess. As I look at the people, the groups that I have partnered with over the years, all of them have been very rewarding, or I would not partner with them. But I look at my relationship with MUCC, Michigan United Conservation Clubs, and I am very proud to partner with that group. They have a history of defending and promoting our outdoor lifestyle. I am all about defending and promoting our outdoor lifestyle, so it makes a lot of sense. Amy Trotter is the executive director of that group and just an all-around great person. And she's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Amy, welcome back. How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
Amy, always a pleasure. When you look back on 2024 from your perspective there at MUCC, was it a good year? Were there things that were frustrating? Are you pretty proud of what you did?
Well, I am always in awe of the amount of work that our small team here at MUCC can do. So I am very proud of what we accomplished in 2024. Of course, there were some unfinished business that was left on the cutting room floor of the legislature. So we have more work to do in 2025. But I'm extremely proud of all the work that we've done in 2024.
More work to do, Amy. I do not believe the work of MUCC will ever be done. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if you could just retire and walk away? But I don't think there's ever going to be an end to it.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I would love to say mission accomplished, but there's always something new. There's always something new challenges, new opportunities, and that's what we've been doing for 87 years is really trying to marshal the resources of those of us that are passionate about the outdoors and make sure that those opportunities are there for the next generation.
87 years. I mean, the goal has always been the same, but the environment you work in has certainly changed over those years.
Absolutely, absolutely. The amount of work that we do in the legislature alone, in a single year, we track more than 200 legislative bills, and then we directly engage on at least 50 every year. And so those might be budget bills, program bills, good bills, bad bills, and we're there and looking and watching over that process to make sure that if we can, nothing slips through that's harmful, and that we, work on a few of our priorities every year.
You've put a big push on for increasing membership because with more members comes more political clout. How is that campaign going? Have you seen any success?
We absolutely are. We have engaged hundreds of thousands of people online and through our communications and through, Facebook ads and social media use, but we still need to keep working on converting those people. So now we feel that we're, at least maybe not a household name yet, but we are getting our message out there further and further. But we do need to convert those into dollars to, again, sustain our organization now and into the future.
Well, speaking of converting into dollars, you've got a very cool fundraising campaign right now revolving around the Super Bowl. I never would have seen that coming, but it's pretty exciting.
Well, and these kinds of opportunities, sometimes we plan for things and sometimes they fall in our laps. And so this was a really exciting opportunity. We have a luxury dream trip to the Super Bowl with 2 tickets and a variety of accommodations, hotel, a voucher for flights, all of that, all inclusive. And you get to go to the Super Bowl. And it's only a chance to win is only $100, and you get 2 tickets with all of those accommodations. So it is a huge opportunity, and we are selling tickets through the new year. So the drawing is not until January 6th. So please, you can go online, order those tickets today, and make sure they're. You can't win if you're not in.
You can't win if you don't play. MUCC.org is the website, MUCC.org/Super Bowl to get tickets directly?
Yes.
Okay. Also, before I let you go, 4 times this year, once a quarter, you will join me for Wednesday Night Live, where we really get a chance to flesh out some things and get direct interaction with our listeners. And then I'm asking people to put this on their calendar right now, Friday, July 25th, for the 2nd annual Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing to benefit MUCC's youth camp. And we're going to make it even bigger and better than last year, Amy.
Oh, I'm so excited, and it will be such great weather. We know it already.
We know it.
And great prizes to win, and great group of people to be around. So it's a fun day.
Amy, anytime I get a chance to spend time with you and the staff, I welcome that. Amy Trotter, Executive Director of MUCC, the website mucc.org, mucc.org. If you want to get involved in that Super Bowl promotional fundraiser, and this year the whole Super Bowl question takes on an interesting slant, doesn't it? mucc.org/Super Bowl. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine Show. When we come back, this week's Ask Avery segment, and it's about something else with an upcoming deadline, something else that I am going to win. We'll leave it at that for now. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine Show in Houghton Lake on 98.5 WUPS. You can hear us in Lansing on WILS 1320 AM, and you can hear us north of the bridge in Manistee on WTIQ 1490 AM, 95.3 FM. The Ask Avery segment is brought to you each week by the good folks at Security Credit Union. Security Credit Union loves to work with outdoorsmen and women, and they can help you with your next outdoor adventure. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. You know this by now, but the way the Ask Avery segment works is this is your chance to get involved in the content of the show. You can send a question directly to me, something you want me to answer, or something that you want me to maybe forward along to DNR or MUCC or somebody that I might have better access to than you do. Best way to get those questions to me is to send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. This week's question deals with something I talk about a lot. It's the pure Michigan hunt, and I talk about it a lot this time of year, and I've had a lot of people email me, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, say, Avery, what are the details on this thing? Here's the only detail you need to know. I'm going to win this thing. I think this year. If not this year, certainly next year. And the way I know I'm going to win is I have applied several times. But there are going to be 3 winners, so there's still room for 2 more of you to win. Eric Hilliard is the guy, kind of the go-to guy in the department who, I don't want to say he runs the Pure Michigan Hunt, but he's kind of the face of the Pure Michigan Hunt, and he's the voice of the Pure Michigan Hunt, and he's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Eric, welcome back. How are you?
Thanks, Mike. I'm doing good, and I hope for your sake, too, that you are also a winner this year because you talk about it year after year, and I think nothing would give me more joy than to see your name amongst the list of winners.
It would be. I can't argue with that. It's a joke, right? I joke around every year about winning the Pure Michigan Hunt, but I figure if I keep putting that out there, that sometime it's going to happen. But Eric, we know, all joking aside, 3 somebodies will win this year's Pure Michigan Hunt.
That's correct. We have 3 winners every year. And it's funny, I find more and more people still that it kind of surprises me. They don't know what the Pure Michigan Hunt is.
Yeah.
But when they find out, boy, are they ever excited because they get a chance to hunt elk and bear and spring and fall turkey and antlerless deer, and they got first pick at a managed waterfowl area for a reserved hunt, as well as a tremendous prize package from our list of sponsors that they can see at michigan.gov/PMH. They can see the sponsors and all the prizes listed there.
Well, and that's why I wanted to get you on here right at the end of the year before the deadline to remind people what it is. I think the big thing most people want would be the bull elk tag. I mean, that's kind of the holy grail right there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think definitely that is the biggest one. And it doesn't affect your chances for the regular elk draw either. And so even if you win the Pure Michigan Hunt, and let's say you've been applying, for that bull elk tag year after year, you're still eligible to get that one again. So it does not affect your eligibility for that regular elk tag.
I actually saw this. A buddy of mine won the Pure Michigan Hunt after hearing us talk about it on the show a couple of years ago, and then this year he came back and he got a cow elk tag. So yeah, it's pretty amazing what this pyramid. It's like it trumps everything else out there.
Yeah, it's really one of the best things about the Pure Michigan tags is that you can use them in any open unit during that unit's open season. And so you could be, let's say, hunting bear in the UP, and then you just said, well, I want to go down to the northern lower and hunt down there because I'm not having much luck here, or vice versa. You can go, as long as the season is open in that unit, you can use that Pure Michigan hunt tag there.
How do we get involved in this? What's the process? What's the cost, and what's the process?
So you can purchase an application, or you can purchase 3 if you want. There's no limit to the number that you can buy. Online at michigan.gov/DNR licenses, or you can use the Huntfish app to buy. If you want more details on what the Pure Michigan Hunt is, as well as the listing in that prize pack, I encourage you to go to michigan.gov/PMH, and you can see all of the details there. Applications are $5 each, and you can even buy as a gift, and we've got instructions on how to do that on our website at michigan.gov/PMH.
When is the deadline?
So the deadline is midnight. So when that ball drops on New Year's, you can no longer buy for the drawing that will happen this next month. So we do our drawing at the beginning of January, and we make our announcement about the 3rd week in, and we'll have details up on the website shortly after that. So you want to make sure that if you want to get in on that drawing that happens here in January, you want to buy before that ball drops.
Gotcha. I will be eagerly keeping an eye on the website and all other. Well, it's my year, Eric. I'm telling you, it's my year. So I'll look forward to talking with you in a few weeks when I win. And I would encourage others to check in as well. Michigan.gov/Pure Michigan Hunt. Eric, appreciate your time and appreciate the folks from Security Credit Union making each week's Ask Avery segment possible. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. We'll take a break for the top of the hour. When we come back, Tom Lounsbury, one of the best storytellers you'll ever hear. He's going to join me, and then Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Minar wraps it all up. So we've got a good hour coming up in hour number 3. I hope you can stick around.
Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Mike Avery has covered the outdoors in Michigan for more than 4 decades, and that tradition continues today. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Eider Insurance Group, Angler Quest Pontoons, the Forward Corporation, Primal Outdoors, Security Credit Union, Offshore Tackle, Garber Chevrolet, Rapid River Knife Works, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to hour number 3 of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. It's the last hour number 3 of this show for 2024. How does this happen? How does time fly by so fast? I don't know. I don't know. You know, this time of year, you never quite know what you're going to get, right? I mean, back in the old days, back when I was a kid, no, I'm not even that many years ago, this time of year, you could pretty well be assured it was going to be cold and snowy and there was going to be ice. These days, I don't know. Things are kind of up in the air, but regardless of what Mother Nature throws at us, it's exciting because we're moving into a new year. All of the opportunities that provides, the challenges it provides, it's a cliche to say it is a cliche, right, to have New Year's resolutions. I never make New Year's resolutions. I don't. Because New Year's resolutions are just designed to be broken. There will be some goals I'll set. You know, at the very base level, the goals I have for every year. I want to spend more time outdoors. I want to spend more time hunting. I want to spend more time fishing. And then, I in my mind or on paper or in my laptop or whatever, I might elaborate on that and actually put something down in writing. So I can go back to that and say, okay, something to hold myself accountable for. But it is a very, I'll go back to the term exciting. Whenever you start a new year, it's exciting. Whenever I get a chance to talk with Tom Lounsbury, it's exciting. Tom is a guy I have known forever. I first met him through the Michigan Outdoor Writers Association, where he got the title Rambo. I don't even want to know how that happened. I can imagine. I have a pretty good idea. Because Tom is one of those guys, when he does something, he does it all the way. He has more experience in the Michigan outdoors, especially in the thumb, than almost anybody I know. And because of that, he's got more stories than almost anybody I know, and he's a very good storyteller. But I always enjoy our conversations with him, and he's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Rambo, welcome back. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, Mike.
How are you?
Hey, doing fine. And I'm like you when it comes to resolutions. I set goals.
Goals, yes.
Resolutions never seem to work.
They never do. You're absolutely right. They never do. That's why years and years ago I said no more resolutions. If I'm committed to something, I will make it a goal. And if not, then it's not going to happen.
Here you go. So, well, I'm looking forward to 2025. I think I'm looking forward to this winter. Oh, a lot of hunters hang up their equipment when the deer season's over and all that. But boy, Michigan offers a bounty of all kinds of avenues that you can enjoy in the outdoors.
Well, it certainly does, and you got to wonder these days, does the Michigan deer season, I'm saying this facetiously and sarcastically, does the Michigan deer season ever end? I mean, it's like a 4-month season if you take advantage of everything.
It sure is, especially for southern Michigan and the lower peninsula, but southern Michigan especially. Deer car accidents are at a record high for the last 2 years, and so that's playing a role. And hey, all I can say is, at least in my area, we have too many deer.
Yeah, yep. I think that's true across a lot of the southern part of the state. How was your deer season this year, by the way, Tom?
Well, real good. The family took several bucks and several does, kind of a 50-50 deal. We put the pressure on the does, and my goal is I got deer management assist permits, DMAP permits, and I can get up to 20. And anyway, my goal is to eliminate at least harvest 10 does. And I got we got our freezer to fill, and does make the best venison. And I have friends who want venison, and then I'm going to donate the rest to Sportsmen Against Hunger.
Our friends listening to this in the UP hear you and other people talk about harvesting multiple does, and it really gets them, in some cases, mad because they're thinking, we can't afford that. But you can't compare the UP whitetail herd to the southern Michigan herd. It is two different worlds.
Yeah, it's two different dynamics. It's, we got, well, when you and I were kids, we didn't see that many deer around. But boy, now, oh my goodness, it's something else.
Tom, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the
opportunity.
I'll tell you a quick story. My dad would get a doe tag just so he could burn the darn thing so nobody else would use it and take a doe. And these days, we know that that's kind of it's certainly not what we want to do these days.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first doe season in the thumb was 1970, and all the sportsmen's clubs had their members and anybody else apply for a doe tag, and then they had this ritualistic with the press on hand burning all these tags.
Yeah, things have certainly changed.
They sure have.
Did you do any
I'm
deer
hoping we get some ice this winter. My goodness. This is, like you said, this is something else these days.
But see, I don't think of you as much of an ice fisherman, or are you thinking for trapping that you want ice?
Well, I personally, I like snow. I like a winter with snow. And I do limited amount of ice fishing, but I do it on inland situations. I don't go out on the big ice. But my main focus in Michigan, I just love it. First of all, I call it when the New Year's hit, I call it the off season, and I target fox and coyotes and so forth. And whenever I get a chance, I love to go up north and try to call in a bobcat, and then for this world. And then of course I got 3 squirrel dogs. There's nothing like wintertime squirrel hunting with dogs.
Now there's an opportunity that didn't exist years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pastime that came from down south, but there's a lot of people getting into squirrel dogs. I have 2 mountain curs, and then Redbone. That she's a lovely dog. So there's nothing like going into the woods after squirrels. It's full of action. You name it. I love it.
Let's walk through some of these different things you were talking about. Fox hunting. Now, do you go up north to do that, or do you hunt fox right around your farm?
No, bobcat. I go up into the up north into the bobcat zone. I like up near like Rogers City and so forth up there, and then I have a friend up in the UP, and I like to call them in. I do like to call them in, and they. Believe it or not, I have yet to successfully call a bobcat in. They take forever. They circle around, but is it fun? My goal, my pet list is to eventually call in a bobcat.
Oh, that would be something very special. Did you say you also hunt fox, though, too, Tom?
Oh, yes. We got what I have here locally is gray fox, red fox. My favorite predator of all is the red fox. Gray fox weren't around until about the same time coyotes showed up I don't know what the tie-in is, but they showed up about the same time in the mid-'80s as the coyotes started really making a presence here in the thumb area. And so I like calling in both. But my main key target is coyotes. I do love to call in coyotes.
How do you do that? Are you one of those guys hunting at night with thermal vision and the high-tech stuff?
Oh, I have friends with thermal vision, but I'm too much of a Scotsman to do that. I like early morning and late evening for a lot of calling, but at nighttime, if it feels right, I have a red light that attaches to whatever fire I'm using and call them in that way. And I love doing it with the red light. And coyotes can't seem to pick up the color. Some hunters use green, but to me, red is the best color to go with. And what a thrilling time to call in a coyote when you see him coming in. I just absolutely love it.
How much distance, what range do you have with that light?
Oh, I could, easily 100 yards with no problem.
Okay.
And for night hunting, that's my limit. And you can use centerfire rifles now, 269 caliber or smaller. But my two favorite rounds, well, I like a 22 Magnum. I got a lever action that this red light fits on real nice. I love the 22 Magnum for everything. And then I also got my Contender carbine, my TC Contender carbine. And it's got a little scope on it with the red dot and all that. So, I like doing that. And then the shotguns. Boy, when they changed the rules about 7 years ago, when they allowed this centerfire rifles, and then they allowed buckshot at night where never before, but you can't use any larger than number 3 buck, which turns a 20 gauge into an excellent coyote gun. And then I like number 4 buck for 12 gauge.
Tom, hang tight. We got to take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. We're talking with Tom Lounsbury, noted outdoorsman, veteran outdoorsman, expert hunter. You can read his writings everywhere. You can hear his podcast as well. What you can't do is go to the website, TomLounsburyOutdoors.com. Because Tom is not a technical guy. He's not a techie at all, but I think you can probably get that from the conversation. We'll take a break. When we get back, more with Tom Lounsbury right here on Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Ludington on News 97, 98, 98.7 WLDN. You can hear us in St. Joe, same side of the state, but way south, WSJM 94.9 FM. And you can hear us over on the east side of the state, WIOS 1480 AM, 106.9 FM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Versa Skins. Just change your skin for the season you're in. Why buy a bunch of different sets of expensive hunting clothes when you can buy one good quality set that is warm, that is wind resistant, that is water resistant, and then snap on and zip on an outer shell of a different camo pattern? And you can do this in less than a minute. For example, I was wearing my Versa Skins for the late part of the bow season. When it came time for firearm deer season, I snapped on an outer shell of blaze orange. If I was a predator hunter now, I would switch that blaze orange over to snow camo, and I could do it all very easily and very inexpensively. If you are a hunter who needs big sizes, 4, 5, 6X, you know how hard those are to get. Versa Skins can help you out. If you are a saddle hunter, you like to hunt from a saddle tree stand, Versa Skins can help you out there as well. Go to the website versaskins.com. That's versaskins.com. Or go to Amazon. Go to Amazon.com, do a search for Versa Skins brand, and you will see what I mean. Versa Skins, just change your skin for the season you're in. Talking right now with noted outdoorsman, lifelong hunter, outdoor writer, Tom Lounsbury. Tom, isn't it wonderful as an outdoor lover, an outdoor enthusiast, to be able to enjoy these different seasons as they come along?
Oh, I just love it. And I love Michigan for its 4 seasons, and I love the whole state. I mean, the opportunities that, and I have not visited everything. One of my goals is to visit and hunt as many places as I can in Michigan. What a wonderful state. I mean, I feel blessed, and I feel blessed where I'm here in the Thumb with all what we have offered just in the Thumb alone. But there's all that other area, all around the whole state. And then, of course, we got our close neighbor, Ontario. I like taking advantage of both the fishing and the hunting in Ontario. So,
you do bring up a very interesting point, though. Just here in our great state of Michigan, if you were to try to take advantage of every hunting opportunity in every part of our state, it could be a lifelong quest, and you still wouldn't be able to get it done.
That's right. One thing I've always enjoyed with Michigan Outdoor Writers is when we had winter rendezvous, is I always signed up for the rabbit hunt. And I've had some, southwest Michigan near the dunes, some of the best rabbit hunting. Right near Detroit one time I got in outstanding rabbit hunting, including another time near Flint, and then, of course, up north. And, whenever I get the opportunity, nothing beats going after snowshoe hares.
Well, if somebody wants to talk about rabbit hunting, they should bring people to you. They should bring outdoor writers to you, Tom Lounsbury, the expert on wintertime rabbit hunting.
There you go. Well, I had him here one time when Moa met in Bad Axe, and I had the writers here, and they ended up with 10 rabbits, and that wasn't too far from my yard.
I know. I've seen that. Are you using the same dogs for rabbits that you do for squirrels, that you do for pheasants?
Oh, yes. I turn the whole kennel out. What I do is a rabbit drive. I put standers at pinch points and escape routes, and then I go with the dogs, and we push the rabbits, and the dogs are trained to, stick relatively close to me, and we form like you might want to call a skirmish line, and pushing the rabbits, and they really kick the rabbits loose. And there's a lot of times I never see a rabbit, but I do love hearing the gunfire.
Oh, Tom, speaking of guns, you mentioned a couple of things before the break that I have to follow up on. You said you got a lever action.
Yeah.
Of all the different guns I have, I do not have a lever action, but I am fascinated by those things because I think that they're cool.
Oh, yeah. Definitely American firearm, the lever action, and I've got a collection of them. The one I'm using for varmint hunting 22 Magnum. It's a 10 shot, and it's Ethica. It's actually an Ethica from about the early 1980s and so forth, and just smooth, quick. It's right there. I just love it, lever action. And of course, deer hunting. One of my favorite deer guns is a Henry carbine lever action and 44 mag. And typically most of my shots at deer are close up, and I do love the 44 mag for doing a lot of my deer hunting. So it just does the job.
These days, I feel like Henry does kind of own the lever action market.
They are a class act. In fact, I'm using this year. I'm trying it out. I'm using their single shot rifle in the new 360 buckhammer round.
Oh,
and boy,
yeah.
that is an outstanding round.
Yeah, I haven't had an experience with that. How does that compare to the 350 Legend, the 450 Bushmaster?
Well, it doesn't. Well, the 450 Bushmaster, quite frankly, is the king. Everybody likes that recoil-wise. 350 Legend really amazed me at how it's found its own little niche. It does the job, and you, of course, shot a black bear using it.
Oh, it pounded that bear. Pounded it.
But the 360 has got more oomph than the 350. But it's kind of tucked right in between the 450 and the 350.
You also mentioned a gun that I have a sweet spot for, and that's the Contender, the old Thompson Centers, the single-shot, interchangeable barrels. Do they even make those anymore, Tom?
They're going back. Greg Ritz has purchased a Thompson Center deal again, and he's bringing that all back. When it fell under Smith & Wesson and all this stuff, and oh man, I miss that custom shop Fox Ridge that TC had and everything. But anyway, Greg Ritz, I guess, is bringing it all back this year.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Because realistically, how often do you need more than one shot anyway?
Oh,
on deer at least.
Back during the shotgun days, I always used the muzzleloader because I didn't like how those slugs placed back then. So I'm used to one shot, and being a cartridge arm, you can load a lot quicker. So.
Yeah, there's so many choices of guns these days. Have you gotten into or played around with or have any knowledge of the AR platform?
Oh yeah, I have a AR that's it's a Bushmaster. I got it used. It came with the 223 upper, and it has the handrail and peep sight, and I leave it that way. I don't want to mess with it. But the first thing I did was put a 350 Legend upper on it. And I got a 1 to 4 power loop bolt on that, and man, what a dandy deer gun! And the AR, I got to tell you, people like to give it a black eye, but there's a whole lot of American owners who like the AR, and actually, when you look at the straight wall cartridges, that like the Bushmaster had to be 1.7 inches. It has to be a case length the same as the 223 case, and the 350 Legends the same way. And anyway, the AR, it is one rugged, tough gun, and you sure can't beat it for a follow-up shot.
No, and it's interesting. You're right. It does kind of have a black eye because when I post pictures of my Brenton, Michigan-made Brenton 350 Legend in the AR platform, inevitably, some people come out from underneath their rock and come out from out of the woodwork and make negative comments. I'm like, hey, listen, it's a legal firearm. Let's not be doing this these days. Let's all stand together and not try to divide our hunting community over stupid stuff.
I know it. And the AR is a semi-automatic, just like a 742 Old Remington and so forth. Same kind of, semi-automatic. You got to pull the trigger each time, and one of the first things I did when I got my Bushmaster is I made sure I had a good trigger. You get a good trigger on those AR-15s, they are an accurate piece. I put it right up, right in my 350 AR, right up in the same accuracy category as my Savage Bolt Action 350.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, before I let you go, if we said, okay, Tom, you can only hunt wintertime squirrels or wintertime rabbits and not both, which would be your favorite?
Oh, my goodness. I love them both. I got the rabbits right outside the door here, so they probably get more heat, but then I got my favorite squirrel spots, and I love them both, and what a way to spend the winter.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I said that jokingly because I know you love them both. And isn't it nice to have small game like that out there that often gets overlooked these days? And I'm guilty of this too. I talk about deer and bear and turkeys and forget about the other stuff. But man, this is how we started, and it's how you still fill your freezer a lot of ways on a regular basis.
Oh, I absolutely love it, and I've taken. I love taking kids out, small game hunting, either squirrel or rabbit, and introducing them, because you can do that a whole lot. To me, deer hunting is just a little short time frame that I focus on. Otherwise, I'm a small game hunter.
And rabbit hunting, you can be much more social. And squirrel hunting, and squirrel hunting with dogs is kind of a social activity too, right?
Oh, you be social there too.
Yeah.
It could be a noisy atmosphere, trust me.
Well, Tom,
I had a bunch of. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I always enjoy our conversations because you're a man with a wealth of knowledge. You love to share that information. You love to share those stories, and you're welcome on this show absolutely anytime.
Hey, it's always an honor and a pleasure, Mike, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well, my friend, Tom Lounsbury. Tom, real quick, where do we find what you write, and where do we hear the podcast?
The WLEW is supposed to be putting up my shows. They haven't done it for a while, and I'm working for that. But a lot of times you can read my articles by going to wildgamedynasty.com.
That's right, Gary Morgan's thing. And you're right. I was calling it a podcast. It's actually a radio show on WLEW, isn't it?
Right.
All right. Very good. All right, Tom.
Every Sunday at noon.
And who's the guy who got you started in radio?
You, Mike. You.
Why I would open it up to the competition.
You were very generous, and you let me know what was this and that, and I can't thank you enough, sir.
And next thing I know, you're taking dollars out of my pocket. That was a stupid move on my part.
Okay, I hear you.
All right. I'm just kidding. Tom Lounsbury, one of the good guys in the outdoors. But you know what? There's a lot of good people in the outdoors. I have found this over the years that the people who love to hunt and fish and trap are just good people, like salt of the earth people. And that's why I'm so blessed and enjoy this so very much. We'll take a break. Lots more coming up right here on Outdoor Magazine. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Manistee on WMLQ 97.7 FM. You can hear us in the Thumb, Sandusky, WMIC 660 AM, 95.3 FM. And you can hear us in Saginaw on WSGW AM and FM, 790 AM, 100.5 FM. I'm in the studios of WSGW right now, here with Charlie Rood. Charlie. That is the crowd that is standing by. Charlie, you are so beloved and just adored by your fans, the fans of this show. I don't know how you can even go to the grocery store without being swamped. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you helping me out on this show, as I appreciate the fact to be able to be here in this studio as we kick off another year. New Year. This is the last show of 2024. I was saying earlier, with the new year coming up, the tendency is to make New Year resolutions. I can't do those because New Year resolutions are made to be broken. But if you set up certain goals, right? I work best if I have a goal in front of me. Something in paper or a number or something that I can work toward, then I seem to be more effective and more efficient. So I have goals. This year, though, my goals, I got to be honest, I didn't make a specific list of I want to do this, and this. I didn't do that this year. And I think it's because this year I'm just, 2024 was such an interesting year for me and the Avery family. We went through some really, really good things, but some very challenging things as well. So I think my goal for 25 is just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the experiences. Spend as much time outdoors as I possibly can. Hunting, fishing, more time on the water, more time hunting, more time with my family, more time with my friends, more time enjoying this experience that is life, this outdoor experience that is hunting, fishing, shooting, and trapping. I do want to continue to do the best I can and as much as I can to promote, protect in whatever way that I can, and defend this outdoor lifestyle. I am very passionate about this. It is something that I grew up doing. It is something that many of you grew up doing. Hunting and fishing is not just a hobby. It's not a pastime. It's a passion. It's a way of life. And it's something that I want to see continued into future generations. I can see it in my own family. My granddad was a hunter and an angler. My dad was a hunter and angler. I am. My son James. Most of my grandkids. That's 5 generations right there. And this goes back generation after generation after generation here in Michigan. Are there things that could threaten that now on the horizon? Absolutely. Are people in general as interested in this outdoor lifestyle as they used to be? Well, in some parts of our state, yes. In the UP, yes. In the northern lower, yes. But you get down into the southern part of the state, and no, statistically, and it hurts me to say this, hunter numbers are declining. Hunters are getting older. We're not getting the younger people into this lifestyle, honestly, that we need to make this way of life survive. So what are the options? What can we do? Well, that's the $64 million question. What do we do? And I don't have the magic bullet. I don't have the answer to this. All I can do is what I can do, and that is to continue to try to promote what we do, encourage those of us in the lifestyle to continue to portray it in a positive manner, to act like the stewards of the resource that we are, to act like the good people that we are. As I said earlier, hunters and anglers and shooters and trappers are good people. If you get somebody who is in that lifestyle, who is a dirtbag, they're in the minority, but they're probably a dirtbag in life in general. I've spent a lot of time dealing with a lot of people who love the outdoors over the years, and honestly, we are good people. You are good people. If we get a chance, get other people involved. But just do our part to portray ourselves in a positive manner in today's world of social media. And that's a whole different story. That's a whole nother topic. I posted a video here recently from my buddy Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, of a UP doe that had been attacked by coyotes. And I knew it was a little bit gruesome. I knew it was a little bit hard to watch, but I intentionally posted it to show people that Mother Nature is not a Disney movie. Mother Nature can be a cruel, cruel witch. That's a whole I could have started the segment out talking about that and not covered it all. Real quick, 2 dates to remember. Saturday, March 1st, the big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. Friday, July 25th, the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing to benefit MUCC's Youth Camp. Now, I give you these because, you're dealing with a new calendar now, or soon will be. Put those dates in your calendar, Saturday, March 1st, and Friday, July 25th, and you and I can get together there. I will be getting together with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Minar right here on the show after the break. Welcome back to Outdoor Magazine. Thank you. As we go into a new year, I want to thank you for your support over all the years. The shows you've listened to, the podcasts you've listened to, the social media posts you've interacted with. It does mean a lot to me. It also means a lot to me that I have established partnerships and beyond that, friendships, good, true, lifelong friendships with so many of the people that I've worked with, including wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Minar. Many of you have had the chance to meet Dave in person. For those of you who haven't, you're missing out. The guy is just a really, really nice guy. He's very loyal. He's very knowledgeable, and he's a great guy. And he's with us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. David, welcome back. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. And yourself, Michael?
I am doing just great. And I'm excited about a new year. I have no real New Year resolutions, but I'm very optimistic and really excited about the new year coming up.
Same here. Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
Wonderful, David. How about a recipe for us this week? The last one of 2024.
Okay. How about it's on page 151 in the cookbook. How about a rabbit with dried cherries and sour cream?
Perfect.
You could use squirrel with this also.
Perfect.
So you're going to need 2 to 3 rabbits or 3 to 4 squirrels. You need a cup of sour cream, a black pepper grater so you can grate the pepper over the meat, flour to dredge the meat in, 2 to 3 ounces of cherry schnapps. You can use DeKuyper or McGillicuddy. They make both a great cherry schnapps. And 1 cup of dried Michigan cherries, a medium onion diced fine, and 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, how much your family prefers, or as little as they prefer, of garlic, nicely diced up fine. If you use a shotgun, make sure you check the rabbit or the squirrel for any pellets left in it. And once you get that ready to go, you can grate pepper over the meat and press it into the meat. And then you're going to dredge it gently into the flour so you don't shake off too much of the pepper. And you want to brown it in batches, not to overcrowd it. And then as you're getting them done, you can remove it to an oven-proof casserole. Wipe the pan out with a paper towel. Saute the onions and garlic for a minute or so, just to kind of break the flavor loose. Add the cherries, the dried cherries, and then the schnapps, and then flambe that away from the stove. Cook it down for a couple minutes, kind of get rid of the harshness of the alcohol, and then add the gravy and sour cream. You're going to mix it, pour this over the rabbit that's in the casserole after nice and hot. Mix it very well so that all the meat's covered, and bake it 350 degrees for an hour, hour and a half. Squirrel might take a little longer because they're a little tougher, unless you get young squirrels. And then you can cover that up so it kind of concentrates the flavor. And then you can serve this over buttered noodles or fluffy white rice or whatever your family prefers. It's a great way to use rabbit. Makes it really kind of an elegant dish with the dried cherries.
It sounds great. I remember it, and you have given us a tip a couple of times before, and you mentioned it briefly now, whether it's squirrel or I guess any kind of game you would shoot with a shotgun, way to look for pellets using a bright light. Tell me more about that.
Right. Yeah, you can take maybe, if you got a 100-watt bulb or so, maybe a 75 that they're selling these days, and hold the meat up in a darkened room, and you can see where the pellet, if there's any in the meat, where it traveled down through there, it'll leave a trail of feathers or fur, and get that out. It's kind of almost like an X-ray. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then so you can see the trail going in there, and then the pellet itself.
Yep, exactly. And then you can dig that out.
Excellent. So, David,
works great.
For most people now, David, deer season is over. How did you guys end up? How many deer did you put in the freezer this year?
Just that one big buck. That was it.
That's all it takes, man. One big buck will fill a freezer, won't it?
Yeah, we got about 61 pounds of meat,
Excellent.
which is a lot.
That's a lot of meat.
How about yourself, Michael?
I just shot the one doe off the leased property. Though we took 5 deer this year, which is the most we've done in a long time. We had some real nice bucks wandering around earlier, but honestly, once the firearm season started, it got real slow. And I keep checking the cameras for this late doe season to see if it's worth even going out there right now. But the only thing we've got coming in right now is on the food plots right in the middle of the night. So I think I'm done.
Same thing here with the food plots. They're in there all night long.
Yeah,
Come daytime, they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my friend. Have a great day, a great New Year, and you and I will talk again in 2025.
All righty. Thank you. Everybody have a great time and be safe and sane.
Wild game. Words of advice from wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Minar, a big part of the Outdoor Magazine show, as are you. I always say this, but I mean it. If you weren't listening, there would be no reason to do this show. And honestly, I'm not ready to give it up yet. I'm not ready to retire. God decided to let me do this for a while longer. He didn't take me out a couple of months ago, so I guess it's okay if I continue. My name is Mike Avery. The show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I would love to hear from you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and your family. And I will join you again next week right here in 2025 on the next edition of Outdoor Magazine.